Festive Road, the consultancy on a mission to create better travel and meetings management. Today, I'm here with Johnny Thorsen of SPOTNANA. Hi Johnny, welcome.
Hi Caroline, thank you.
How long has it been? I think, was it 18 months since we were last sat in this same studio?
Yep, I think kind of it's like perfect timing, right? We ended last year and then we stood still for 18 months and now we start again.
Pre-COVID, now we're heading to post-COVID, hopefully.
Yeah.
And as we finished our chat last time, we were talking about the importance of sustainability, and we were talking about the idea of having a carbon budget and a financial budget.
Yep.
How's that been the last 18 months? Do you think that discussion's progressed?
I think in a way we probably hit it even better than we thought in February last year because the sustainability in travel have been a big winner during the COVID kind of shutdown, both obviously because of less travel, but more importantly, a significant number of companies, travel buyers, have stood up and started creating public goals. And the beauty of a public goal is you're going to be held up against it. So I think that marks a significant change of mind to go public rather than to keep it in-house.
Okay, so can you see a time, or actually has there been enough change that COVID has driven, that travellers will just be given a budget and there won't be a policy? Is this the end of policy? Is technology ready to be able to manage that? Or are we not quite ready for that yet?
Actually, if we look at the pieces we need, they are all there. And most of them are actually also now connected. And I still remember last year we talked about what are the requirements. Well, first of all, it's a reliable quality data feed. It doesn't have to be 100%, but it has to be reliable and high quality. And that gives you the foundation to start calculating and then benchmarking and then reducing. And we have enough capabilities today to do instant calculations. Some engines are very basic, will calculate on dollar spent or miles flown. Others go all the way to engine type, average load factor, cargo share compared to passenger shares, because all these things matters. And as buyers mature, they will want the most accurate calculation if they care, because otherwise, why do it?
Okay. So if I think of the types of travel that might return, and also overlay the future of work, the redistribution of people around the planet, because now you can potentially work from anywhere, and finally companies have really embraced that. Do you see that as a big area that we need to be focused on next? Or?
Yeah, I really do. I've kind of been thinking about the structure of travel in a company, right? In pre-COVID, we had three types of travel. We had traditional corporate travel, 1 to 30-day trips on average. We had meeting and event travel, which for some reason was separate from traditional corporate travel. And then we had expat travel, relocation, which was normally 1 year plus. Now we have the new digital nomad work from anywhere travel, which by definition is probably more than a month, but less than a year. How are we going to manage that? And who will be the owner? The corporate travel manager, HR, or your boss? That's a very interesting new opportunity where we have very little technology and very few procedures in place. And right now I'm a digital nomad myself. I traveled to Denmark 2 weeks ago and I'm working from there the next 3 months.
Okay. So that's great, by the way, that we're now on the same time zone almost versus 8 hours back. So thinking of that new demand, is there a tax issue, a visa issue? Like this feels like a whole new level of complexity potentially.
I definitely think it is, and that's why it's so fascinating that there's no owner of it. In large corporates, I've seen that several times. You know, the CFO will clamp down and say, "I don't want to have a potential tax liability, so you cannot do it." In smaller companies, there's less kind of focus on that, so it's more, well, you just have to be responsible for whatever tax implication this gives you. And then I'm sitting there as the employee saying, okay, what does that mean for me? There are no resources available for me to go to unless I do my own research. And we've seen a few very interesting new startups pop up around the digital nomad work from anywhere space. and they are super relevant. But we don't have a framework in the larger corporate world, I think, to really say, this is what you can do and the implications of it, and we will help here, you're on your own there.
You know, as always, it reminds me of our conversation years and years ago when we talk about the point of decision versus point of experience. Yep. And if we think of that point of decision, that booking, how do you know this new demand that's coming through? Is it a straightforward trip that's inside any visa rules, inside any tax rules? Is it a longer trip that actually isn't even catered for, so it then just becomes a human looks after it? This feels like could be the next big...
It's a new AI big data opportunity, right? And let me give you an example. I'm California-based. So normally, for me, going to an event in Europe would be a significantly higher cost and carbon impact and time requirement. But now that I'm in Europe, I can certainly attend a lot more events and actually still come out positive. But that requires the company to approve that I'm doing that, even though I've gone in nomad mode for a while. And this is why I find it fascinating. The booking engines of today do not have any capabilities around this. So that's one of the areas we're looking at, obviously, but others I'm hopeful will do the same. Make it easy for companies to manage this environment because it's not going away.
So do you think, so the last 18 months, technology providers, travel management companies have had to shift their capability to just cope with this new requirement around traveling in a pandemic? Have we come that far that actually this new capability requirement is going to be easier moving forwards, or?
I honestly don't think so, because most of the industry has been standing relatively still for a lot of very good reasons, right? First of all, lack of revenue, but there's been a significant loss of tech talent in the travel industry. A lot of people are not aware, but some airlines have lost 50% of their technology department. So we're actually coming out of COVID with less know-how, with less technology capabilities, which means we have to work together to solve these problems. Nobody can do this on their own. Yeah. And that's a new mindset, the kind of the open, collaborative, let's do it together mindset. And a lot of players don't have that.
Yeah, do you know, we talk about it as the will, the skill and the bill. So they have to want to do it. They need to have the right skill set within their organisation to do it, and then they need to have the budget to actually make it happen.
Yep. Very good saying.
Well, do you know what, Johnny? As always, I could talk to you for hours and hours and hours, but we can't do that today, unfortunately. Yep. But maybe we'll book a date for next year, and we'll carry on the conversation again then.
I'm up for that for sure, and hopefully it won't be 18 months next time.
Let's hope so. Thanks so much for joining us today.
You're welcome. Always a pleasure.